Peace, peace, peace. Namaste, namaste. Much gratitude and much grace. We give love, we give thanks. And we are back on today's episode of Only for Hearts podcast with your host, yours truly, Joshua Hightower. And today is a beautiful day. As you can see, we see the snow, in a southern place here out in Georgia. But, today the topic we're going to talk about is win, learn, and level up. Win, learn, and level up. And this is perfect for the time being because of this time period and this environment that is showing right now. It's showing a environmental change. And before we start with that, we want to start with learning. And what does learning really mean? What does that really mean to you? What is learning in my definition? Learning is being able to take not only your experiences, but other people's experiences and calculations and observations to a degree where what can we learn from this, whether it be good or something that needs to be improved or something that's like maybe not suit for you and your mission. And to be able to learn is to be able to dive deep into something, be able to analyze it, being able to dissect it, break it down, and being able to teach it to a 5-year-old. You truly haven't learned something if you can't teach it to a 5-year-old. So always try to think like the things, the lessons in life if you learned, can you break it down in the most simplest form? Or do you have to expound and go all complex, metaphorical, and dive deep into these things? Or can you just use it as a simple context, a simple, format, a simple this and that? You don't have to break it down anymore because we make things harder than what it is. We complicate things as human beings, and we can sometimes get in our own ways and self-sabotage and get in our own heads, which will help the enemy and not help ourselves. And it will keep us from growing because if we're not learning the lessons that are needed and that are desired and that we are attracting, how can we possibly grow into a better self? How can we possibly grow our communities and help benefit, the growth of that community? How can we possibly raise the vibration or raise the frequency of the people, Mother Earth, Father Sky, the universe around us? How can we possibly do those things if we are constantly in a state of not learning our lessons? And I'm not going to say constantly learning because we always want to learn. We always want to grow and have that mindset to find something new that we don't know. But if we're constantly not learning our lessons and being stuck in these cycles, then how will we be able to grow? How will we be able to be the best version of ourselves if we're staying in this cycle? Staying in a cycle can be dangerous. It can be dangerous because now you're stuck in this eternity of misplacement. You're out of place. You're not in touch with the areas and things and places and people that you're supposed to be in with your life. You're not aligned with your purpose now. How will you be able to win? You can't win if you're not learning. So then if you're not winning, how are you leveling up? How are you leveling up? So when we talk about learning, you want to be able to be brave enough, courageous enough. You want to be, a mature enough and no pride to say, you know what, I'm wrong. Put your ego to the side. I'm wrong. Like, hey, I can learn from that. I don't know everything. Or you know what? Information can be used by any vessel. And it's your job to have discernment to know and to also, prove if it is correct with the information or wisdom that is provided. And you'll know if you really have a spirit of discernment, you'll know when someone's giving you some real information, real wisdom, versus someone just telling you something out of bitterness, out of fear, rejection or past trauma. And that's what learning in life is about. It's about growing and it's about seeing things in a different perspective and literally, connecting pieces like a big puzzle, connecting different perspective like a puzzle to a piece or piece to a puzzle. And then those become puzzle pieces to a big puzzle. But then, you see another person's puzzle so it can show you and teach you a different angle and perspective and image of your puzzle because it's at a different side. It's like if we say this, for instance, right? For instance, If we take on a piece of paper, right? Say you are facing forward. Imagine yourself, picturing yourself facing forward, and you decide to draw the number 9. Let's draw the 9, especially being the ninth year, Life Path 9. Shout out to Life Path 9s. I'm a Life Path 9. But especially being the ninth year, 2025, 2 plus 2 plus that 0 plus 5 is 9. So imagine us drawing this 9, right? And as we draw this 9, we look at this 9 and we say, oh, it's a beautiful 9. It's perfectly fitted to the paper. We've drawn it exquisitely. Now imagine you have your best friend or your best homie, or imagine someone is in front of you, right in front of you, on the opposite end. And when they look at this 9, it looks like a 6 to them. Are they wrong? Or is it a different perspective? Is it a different angle? Is it a different way of living, or a different way of, seeing things? That's how learning is. Learning is not just always one way, one road, one dimension. It's different avenues, it's different perspectives, different ideas, different, collages of, information, different collections and collectives of energy and frequencies that we can all visit when the time is brought into fruition to visit. And I told a friend of mine, I said, this version of you didn't come into existence because it wasn't time for it to come into existence yet. And that's because everything is about literally positioning, literally envisioning, and literally learning. So if you didn't learn that cycle, if you didn't break away from that cycle at that time, you won't become this, you won't manifest things that are necessary to be that person or to attract that thing or that job, that career, that passion right then and there, because you didn't break away from that cycle. You didn't learn your lesson. And that's what we want to get into. We want to learn our lessons so that we can win, so that we can level up. Because as you are learning and growing, you're ultimately creating a higher self. So as your energy is raising in frequency, your aura field, your vibration, naturally, the things that no longer resonate with your frequency are going to repel. So as you're leveling up, you start to attract people that's on that level who will help you level up more, because they're so infatuated with bettering themselves, doing the work, taking care of the little things, details, being consistent and persistent, speaking life into themselves, not talking bad about people, not gossiping, trying to change people's lives for the better, not withholding information that can change somebody's life, being kind to themselves, being kind to others, everything. Then you'll start to feed off of that loving energy. And now you can continue growing even more. And it's going to continue being a cycle of growth. Because once you get in a cycle of growth, it's like a snowball. You get it? It's like a snowball. Once you roll it and you start getting it form and it rolling, starts rolling, you know, it's going to keep going, man. It's going to create an avalanche, man. And it's gonna keep you in a state of love. It's going to keep you in a state of abundance, because once again, you have to learn. You have to win. You have to level up. And matter of fact, let me rephrase that. Forgive me for my tongue. You get to learn. You get to win. You get to level up. This is an opportunity, and this is the only option you have. That is the mindset you want to be so deeply submerged in, that any other thought out in this universe or field, it can't even come into this biosphere barrier. It can't even reach your auric field. It can't, because you get to win. You get to learn your lessons. You get to level up. You get to grow and see a better version of yourself. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the authentic thoughts and authentic ways to live, once you realize how these lessons can dictate if you manifest the wins and manifest the leveling up and creating this better life for yourself. And when you winning and you start learning your lessons, you'll grow that a lot of things don't fit you no more. Going out drinking, that don't fit you no more. Going to smoke weed, that don't fit you no more. Going to the club and dancing and wasting your time and energy with these parasite energies or vampire energies, it's a waste of time. You're wasting your precious time, and it makes you really grow to appreciate the little things like having genuine conversations, having a loving friendship, having a loving meal, having a beautiful walk, a beautiful run, a workout, whatever it may be. It begins to further grow and cultivate itself into something more because now you're doing the little things and you're learning from the mistakes or learning from the lessons that are necessary. And you never truly level up unless you learn from something. And the only way you'll be able to know you've learned is once that the universe has tested you multiple times to see like, all right, did you really learn your lesson or are you just saying that? Or is it not just been the opportunity being presented to you? Because this is a difference. People will say, oh yeah, I'll do this in this situation. But if they never had the opportunity presented to themselves, they don't know. Some people don't know. And that's the beautiful thing about life is once you know, now you know. As long as you got that in your head, as long as you made the conscious decision to be like, you know what, I won't allow that to happen again. I'll correct my behavior or my decision making. My fault. I'm kind to myself. I give myself grace. I got myself room. I give myself room to grow. Let's move forward with a better mindset, better decision making, and better understanding and overstanding. And it can be scary. It can be scary because you'll realize now, like, once you don't do the things like going out to drink, going out to the party, going out to clubs, going out, you know, whatever it may be, something that's low vibrational, something that doesn't aid to your life and bettering it, you'll realize like, damn, you might feel you might feel alone. You might feel like, hey, I got no friends or I don't got people that resonate with me, but that's okay. You're going through your shedding phase. So as you're going through your shedding phase, you'll begin to grow and attract people into your life that'll be like, hey, I go to the bookstore or I go to, painting classes. I go to these lectures and seminars where we all talk about how to financially build ourselves and strengthening our mind and our aura and better our health. Or I got people that we go work out in fitness centers or, it's like a club of working out basically. Y'all go do yoga together, y'all go stretch, y'all go to book clubs together. Y'all go experience and travel the world to learn new ethics, languages, cultures, and things like that. That is a lot more satisfying and fulfilling and much more of a winning side than the other side. The other side, you still in the cycle of learning because you didn't learn from your lesson. You didn't learn from that cycle or that thing that you continue doing. That's not aiding in your growth, and it's actually aiding in the opposite of growth, which is deterioration. It's degenerating to you. Be better with that. Be better with that. And we can always say that if you wanna really do better, you would do better. You would make the like if like a pastor told me, and I'm not Christian by the way, but it's a pastor that I respect. But my pastor told me, he said, it don't bother you enough for you to fix it. It was for oh, okay, matter of fact, I'll give y'all story time. I remember what it was. So it was like 1 month, like I was just being late. Like late everywhere I go, late everywhere I go. Like every time I just been late. I was late. And I have a real bad punctuality problem. And that's something I'm correcting, as I'm growing and doing this and that. I'm learning. Like I said, I'm learning. I'm not in the winning part of it yet. I'm learning still. But he said to me one time, I was late going to get my haircut appointment. He said, it don't bother you enough to fix it yet, but you'll fix it eventually. And it dawned on me because it was like, for us to win, something has to literally bother us to shift our mind and shift our actions. Like it literally has to be either a life or death situation, or the pain is so great that it bothers you to where you can't bear the pain anymore. And you have to make a better decision. You have to fix your actions. Think about it. The reason why you're still drinking, you're still eating that low vibrational food, you're not taking care of your body, you're not reading, you're not studying, you're not perfecting your craft and your art and your passion, is because it doesn't bother you enough. You haven't learned your lesson. It doesn't bother you enough to fix your actions and correct yourself in the cycle that you're in and to learn from your mistakes or learn from your non-active actions to correct yourself so you can get on the winning side of life. It doesn't bother you enough. You don't care. You don't care enough. You don't really want it. You don't want it. If you really wanted to win, you would learn from all the things and everyone around you from other people. You would study even not only yourself, but other people so that you can see where they went wrong or where they went right. Ain't nothing new under the sun. So there's only so many possibilities and capabilities that can happen. And you are choosing to ignore literally when somebody has presented information to you or when you've been presented information to yourself. Like, why aren't you trying to correct yourself? And I came to the conclusion, simple, you don't want it bad enough. I didn't want to be on time bad enough. I didn't care enough. I didn't respect my time and their times good enough. And it's a lack of respect, which is true. And we're going to be genuine and transparent. It's a lack of respect on that end for me. And we're not just saying, oh, you just fully disrespect yourself. I'm saying there's areas where you do lack certain things in. And that's one thing I lack respect in, that time. And that's true. And to better that, I've started to get engraved in my head, like you get to be here this time. And I would, cut the time down a little more to like, hey, I got to be there 30 minutes before, or like 45, just so I can trick my mind into, getting it done. But still, you want to be in that mindset where you're not having to do all that. Like you're going, like you're on time. It's simple. You're on time. And that's how you want to be on time with your goals, with your dreams, with your aspirations, with your career path, with the lessons that you are going through and learning. You want to be on time with them so you don't be in this eternal prison or this eternal cycle and phase of your life where it feels like you're just stagnant, you're not growing, and you're not, cultivating a new mind, a new spirit, a new physical, a new emotional, a new financial. That's where we don't want to be in. We want to be able to learn, win, and level up. Learn, win, and level up. Learn, win, and level up. It's going to be a time period where you're going to be tested by the universe. It's going to be something thrown your way. It's going to be an adversity, an obstacle to see. Do you really want to do this? Do you really want to pursue this painting career? Do you really want to be this entrepreneur in this hair business? Do you really want to go and be a vet? Do you really want to be a doctor? Do you really want to, fix your marriage and fix it going on with your person? Do you really want to fix your body and lose that weight or gain that muscle? Do you really want to run this marathon this year and be on track and be consistent with hitting your miles this week? Do you really want to meal prep your food and get your nutrition better? Do you really want to get closer to God and really, really build a relationship that is beneficial and that can help and better and empower your life? Do you really want to change the world and help cultivate better communities where we all thrive and that we all love each other more and more and more? Or do you just want to stay in this same cycle of being in this imprisonment where you're not doing nothing but just sitting there stagnant? Or do you want to win? Do you want to grow? Do you want to, bro? Like, do you really want it? Learn, win, level up. Do you really want it? It's simple, man. And you people like, even me, I catch myself at times. Like sometimes we always talk about it, but where's the actions? Put action down. Put a plan of action. Write it out if you got to. Act on it. Execute it. Get it done. Don't say we're gonna try. No, we're gonna get this done. We're gonna get that done. We're gonna get that done. No excuses. No excuses. Have it engraved inside of your mind. There is no excuse on why I should not get this done. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. And if you was to say to me, like, hey, I'm gonna do this and do that, don't tell me. If you was to say to me, I'm gonna do this and do that, don't tell me. Do it. Get it done. Now I get it. You might want to communicate, maybe get some advice. Cool. But if you're constantly just gonna keep parading and talking about it, eventually, bro, people are gonna be like, you said you was gonna do it, so why didn't you get it done? Where you didn't get it done. You just keep saying you're gonna. What's going on? That's a problem. That's a huge problem. That's a problem. Cause now you're not learning, or now you're not winning. You're learning. It's like you're hesitating. You're flirting with a line of growth. It's like you're scared to grow. Why are you scared to grow? Really ask yourself that. Are you scared to unlock the best version of yourself because now you got to be uncomfortable and leave out of situations like friends, family, careers, business, introspects, relationships. Now you got to leave those mediocre relationships, mediocre businesses, mediocre ways of thinking, mediocre friends, mediocre family members, mediocre habits, mediocre lifestyles that you have to leave and find greater and push yourself past the point of breakage. Is that what you're scared of? If you're scared, just say so, man. If you're scared, just say so. But don't come telling someone or your friends or someone like me or someone who's great, who's really trying to get on track, who's not trying, forgive me, for someone who's really getting on track, for someone who's making a change, making the conscious effort to be better, not just to talk about it, not to get scared or frightened when it's put in front of them, or to be all unconscious about their decisions and being unintentional about what they're thinking. Don't do that, because we're making conscious choices. We're being intentional about what we want and what we're attracting and what we're doing, not just with our mouth, but what we do, and in consistency in everyday work. You are perfect. You are perfectly made. You can do anything you want. You just have to do it. And to do it, there's going to be times where you need to learn along the way. But if you don't learn, you will continue being soft, continue being mediocre, continue being average. I'm great. I know I'm great. I know it. I am confident I am great. I'm great at everything I do. Everything. Because I found it in myself that I will learn and I will correct things at a moment's notice so I can be the best version of myself, so I can continue leveling up, so I can continue attracting abundance, continue attracting love, continue being better than I was yesterday, and continue stacking that brick on top of another brick so I can build that great house that I so seemingly and so want. Do you want it? Do you really want it? Because y'all can, people talk a good game. It sound good. But then when you throw in that ringer, people be saying like, oh, I'm ready to be an entrepreneur. But if you saying you're an entrepreneur, 50, 40, 30 years of it, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of it, hopefully you didn't invest it in something so you don't got to do it too long. But you don't think there's going to be some challenges inside of your business model, inside of your employees or your business partners, or something wrong with your estate or establishments or online courses or lectures and seminars or meet and greets or pop-ups or promotional pages or websites? You don't think there's going to ever be a situation or problem that you got to correct and learn from it? You don't think in a relationship with your spouse going on 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, a lifetime, that y'all are not going to have a problem at all? You're just going to get up and run away from it? That don't make sense. So what are you going to do when the kids are going through that same thing? You're going to project that same philosophy on your kids, on your family members, on your team? You're going to project that same philosophy? That's weak. That's unethical. That's not loving. That's not loving. That's not loving. That's not love. You're going to project that on your teammates, on your kids, your partner, because you don't want to get your stuff together. You don't want to get your bad habits together. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. You going to project that philosophy out in the Mother Earth? You quitting? You giving up? You don't really want to learn? You just want to stay the same? You don't want to grow and ever see the best version of yourself? You want to stay in that cocoon, man. That's crazy. You want to stay in that cocoon. You don't want to fly your wings and see different places and locations and travel and get to see the sea, get to see the beautiful monuments or the museums or, different places of nature and just different heights. And you want to stay in the cocoon? You really want to stay in the cocoon? Oh my God. I'll give y'all a story right now, right? So right now I'm transitioning into a new opportunity, a new tool, we call these JOBs, and as I'm doing it, for about 4 or 5 months, so 4 or 5 months, right? I've been searching for a particular job to be local, right? So, I'm not gonna say the name of the company, but as I am trying to get this job, I keep getting denied, keep getting denied, keep getting denied, keep getting denied. Probably like 20 companies, 25 companies I get denied. And there's one company for sure alone, not counting that 20, 25, I applied probably 10 to 15 times and they denied me. And I even got an interview with this company. And I'm talking to him, I'm talking to the dude, I'm like, yeah, put on my best, not putting it on, but my best person is being presented. And, everything seems good. He like, if you get the job, we'll call you. Never called me. So I applied to them again, keep applying, keep applying. So then this is one company I applied to before that company, and they never responded to 2, 3 months later, and I didn't get the job. So then another opportunity presented itself, and what I said is, you know what, I'm gonna just go up there. It wasn't an online apply application. I said, I'm gonna just go up there. So I went up there, right? I'm driving, I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous, man. I'm driving, I'm nervous. Driving on my way there, and it was perfect how the universe aligned because of what happened the day before. I took someone to the airport. They flight ended up getting delayed, and I just waited with them and chilled, until it was time for me to get a new flight. We hung out and everything. But then that next day, I decided to go because I was supposed to go prior, like 2 days before. I was supposed to go prior 2 days before. That person's flight got delayed. I ended up hanging out with them that whole day. Then boom, they had a flight the next day. So then boom, as I'm driving to go handle the situation. Actually, I take that back. Their flight got delayed. Then I hung out with them that whole day. They had a flight at nighttime. They had a flight at nighttime, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, flight at nighttime. No. It was a flight at nighttime. So then yeah, boom. As their flights at nighttime, I go home now. So I go home. Next day, that's when I go to the job. I driving, I'm driving in the car. Boom. I get up there. So I get to talking to the dude, or I finally get to where I need to see. So then the dude tell me, like, talking to me, how long you didn't, talking, Then I tell him, like, hey, I don't really have an interview today. I just want to get an interview. So then the dude look at me, he said, you shouldn't have told me that because now I got to stop the interview. But it's good you told me because you was being truthful. And, some people would be like, why did you tell him? But I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be 100. You get a lot and you get farther in life being real and being honest. And that's just my philosophy. It works for me. So I was honest. And he said, you know what, though? I can get you an actual interview if you already applied. So then I was like, all right, okay, cool. So then, boom. He did it, turn around. I got an interview that next week. Next week I come in, I do the interview, same process, talking. Then literally, it's like this manager, right? He's like the manager of all the little operations of that place in all the Southeastern. So then I do I guess you want to say training. It's like my pre-training. I failed it. So then when you fail that pre-training, you instantly cannot get included into the job. You're done. You failed it. So then he told me, hey, just apply back in 30 days. I said, dang, man. And the thing is, I was close. Like, I was almost done to what I was doing in my training. I was literally like, and it was on me. I was being careless. I wasn't being respectable of my time, which was a lesson of not being punctual. It was something being timed. So I had 15 minutes to do this task, and I did not complete this task in 15 minutes. That is completely on me and my lack of respect on punctuality and other people's time and my time, which is a lesson I had to learn because later down the line, boom, 30 days probably passed, probably more than 30 days, probably like 38, 40, somewhere around that mark, right? Then finally, you know what I say? I'm gonna go back. I went back at the perfect time, I guess, man, because everything aligned perfectly. So I'm waiting. They hiring before a different position. So they think I didn't came back for that position, but I didn't. So as I'm in there chilling, I'm waiting, right? Waiting. The dude come out. They say, what's your name? I tell them my name, Joshua Hightower, blase, blase. They say, I say, I'm really here for the blank and blank position. And they say, oh, okay. Da-da-da. So then probably like 2-3 minutes, maybe 5 passed by. The dude who was hiring me, who got me the interview, walks out. So when he walks out, he looks at me, he's like, what you here for? And I said, honestly, I came here to talk to you about the blase, blase position. And he looks at me, he was like, I mean, you already in the system, so we really can't do nothing. Like, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to like pull you out and then, really can't do nothing. I look at him like I shook my head like, so you just want me to just go to a different? You want me to leave? And he was like, yeah, cause basically they can't do nothing. So he tell me that. So I walk out, right? And before I walked out, he was telling me like, hey, look at that position that they offering. Not a bad gig. You can still get paid and still get things done. And but I wasn't hearing that. I came in what I came in for, and that's a respect thing. Like either take it or leave it. So I walk out. I'm going to my car, and then the dude. I get in my car. I'm about to start driving off. The dude flagged me down. Raise my window down. So I roll my window down. Right. He waving me. I roll my window down. So then roll my window down. He like, if you can convince this guy right here why you need this job here, I got you. So he talking about the dude. He said they about to leave for lunch right now. So then the dude, he's like, where? I like, where? He said in the front, like all the way in the front. They far. Like they probably 60 yards in the parking lot. That's a little distance. And he pulling out. Now I'm like, oh shit. He said, oh, right there, right there. So I beat my horn, beep, 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 beep. Beat my horn. Dude still not stopping. I'm beating my horn, beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep. I turn my four-way flashes on, like, beep, beep. Come on, man. I'm like, I roll my window down, like, hey, beat my horn, beep, 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 beep. Beat my horn, drop, beep, beep, beep. He still, he finally, after I done weighed 1,000 times, he finally stopped. And the dude stops his car, right? I get right behind him, four-way flashes on, turn the car off, leave it on, get out the car, walk to him and say, hey, my name's Joshua Hightower. I'm here for blank, blank, blank position. I got great work ethic, great work integrity, blase, blase. I give him the rundown, introduce myself. He look at me, say, that's cool, but I don't make those calls. He does. He talking about the dude that told me to go get the, convince the dude to hire me. He talking about the black dude. So then, the dude told me, he like, the white dude told me, he said, hey, just, he make them calls, not me. And I said, yeah, I understand that, overstand that. But he told me to talk to you. I'm talking to you now. I'm just letting you know. He said, all right, we'll talk about it at lunch. So I'm like, oh, dude just kind of brushed me off. Like, all right, cool. That's how you feeling? Cool. Whatever, man. I ain't tripping. Like, I still did what I need to do. Walk back. In my mind, I'm like, he ain't, But then the black dude said what he said. He said, I told him. He said, you make those calls and y'all gonna talk about it at lunch. So the black dude turned away. He shook his head. He said, you know what? I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna take a chance on you. He said, I love your persistency. Because and before, I forgot to say this, but before then, when he saw me the second time, when I pulled up for that interview after not getting the training done, he said, you here again? He said, dang, you just don't quit. And I said, yeah. I was like, why are we gonna give up? We gotta keep going, right? And that's what I had in my head the whole time. And when he said that, I'm gonna take a chance on you, relief, man. I learned a lesson. I learned a valuable lesson there. And it's one of those things that's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life. And even in my kids' life, when I have kids and generations to come and my friends and my peers, like that's a lesson that I learned. Like, don't quit. Like, don't give up. Like, it may not look like you in the best situation or things don't look the best, but it's not gonna always be bad, man. It's not gonna always be like that. There'll be great moments. There'll be great time periods. You just can't quit. You got to be persistent. And he said he loved my persistency, and literally got me that info, got everything situated. I got, I'm transitioning into that JOB now. I took my little test and everything. I'm transitioning right now. So it's like, I took that chance to stay persistent. But if I would have let past things of like, I got declined, I didn't pass this, I didn't get that done, how would I not have grown to win and level up to become better? How would I have not grown to continue, winning? How could I have not learned a valuable lesson that can help me win and level up? I would have been stuck in the same cycle. I would have been like, oh, I guess nah, you can and you will. You have no options. This is the only option you have to win, to succeed. That's the only option you have. Greatness, that's the only option you have. But when we get in that space to where we don't want to learn our lessons, and dude got me that, man, I had that drug test coming in late. I was like, oh, I was happy. I was so relieved. I was like, God, thank you. And I was like, bro, it was so much for the past few months. And I was just stressed out, bro. I was just crying to a person in my life, a loved one in my life, on the phone with them. I was on the phone crying in tears because I was like, my life is not where I wanted to be. I was, man, and that's me being real, man. That's me being transparent. And a lot of men can't say that. A lot of people can't say that. But that's me being honest and learning like, hey, this is life. We all gonna go through things and experience things. But for you to not want to learn from your experiences, That shows a lack of character and accountability and account of care and love for not only yourself, but the people around you, because you are also in service to them as you are serving yourself. That is the big spill of this message. You gotta learn, man. It's gonna take time. We're gonna always learn, bro. And especially if you young, we got a lot to learn. Especially even if you older, you still got a lot to learn. A young person can teach an old person something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just the beautiful part about life is this never endless journey of learning and growing. And you get to see things in different perspectives and different angles and hear things more than once. And that's just simple. That's simple, man. And I would, man, I forever had it in my heart a story that is like I really went out there and got it. Like I told dude, like I talked to him, talk good, da 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 da. Boom, secured my spot. At the dude told me, he said, "Man, I appreciate it. I love the persistence." That alone, bro, goes a long way, bro. Respect. Do you really want it? How bad do you want it? Does it bother you enough? Does me having this current situation bother me enough to get into a new situation? Does my old me or current me bother me enough before I enter into a new, healthier version of myself, wealthier version of myself? It don't bother you enough because you're not learning. So now you're not winning or leveling up. Until it bothers you enough, then you'll win and level up. And that's the beautiful part about life. That's a beautiful part about life. Whether it be literally, like I said, your career, what you're attracted to, your career, your passion, your job, your financial situation, your mental state, your emotional state, your physical state, your financial state, your relationship, whether it be a friendship or romantic or families or business, you know, it's real, man. If it don't bother you enough, then you won't learn from your actions or experiences, which means you won't win, which means you won't level up. So I advise and I suggest that y'all learn. Take time to learn, enjoy the learning, enjoy that process of learning from your experiences, from your mistakes, from your shortcomings, so that you can finally win, finally be celebrated and triumph yourself and level up in the process. And don't forget to celebrate during the learning process as well, that you're still learning and that you're doing the learning. So win, learn, level up. Hope y'all enjoyed today's podcast. Y'all have a beautiful day. As you can see, I'm having a beautiful time out in nature. Beautiful snow. Hopefully I don't break this microphone, but we took a shot because I take risks, man. You gotta take risks. But peace, peace, peace. Namaste, namaste. Much gratitude and much grace. We give love, we give thanks. Peace.